Today we're going to do a deep dive into animated avatars, how to create them, what to do with them once you've made them, and how it can enhance your teaching practice. So my wife is a primary teacher, and in her class last week they were using some of the speeches of Greta Thunberg as an inspiration to create their own rhetorical speeches. And I wondered whether it might be a little bit of fun to create an animated avatar that she could use with her class. So I did a bit of research and I came across a website called DID, which I'm going to introduce you to today. And after just 5 or 10 minutes work, I came up with this.
My name is Greta Thunberg, and I am here to tell you that our planet is in crisis. You, the children of George White Junior School, have an important mission. Together we will write a speech which will wake people up to the climate change catastrophe we face. Every one of you can make a difference. I have faith in you. Let's begin.
Now, apparently the kids were absolutely thrilled that Greta Thunberg was talking directly to them, and even with her own speech patterns, and I'll explain a bit about how I did that later on in today's recording. But let me show you the DID website and how easy it is to create an avatar like this. So here's the landing page when you come onto studio.d-id.com, and you can see that I've created quite a few avatars in the last week when I've been playing with this platform. If you go over here to the right hand side and hit the create video, you'll notice that we first of all get the choice to select our presenter. Now they give us a whole series of free presenters, but we also have the option of uploading our own character. So here's a pirate who I haven't had a chance to use yet. And some of these characters you'll see featured later on in today's recording. There's Henry VIII. And most of these images were generated either by using DALL-E 3 or Midjourney, and I'll show you how I did that soon. Then over here on the right hand side, we've got the option of uploading a script, and then we can choose the accent that the character uses, or indeed the language of choice. So if you prefer to be writing in French or German or Greek, there's quite a range of different options here, but you also have English accents as well. So I could have a character who is speaking in English but with a Tanzanian accent or a South African accent. And then down here you'll notice that there are a range of different voices that I can choose, both male and female. And I'll leave it to you to click through and get a sense of what these voices sound like, but you've got a decent range including age, a sense of their cultural status, their confidence, even their mood is sometimes something that you can play with. And in fact, down here it says styles, you'll notice, and some of the characters, so let's see if I can find one for you. If we go into United States and I pick, let's say Jenny, then you'll see the styles drop-down menu becomes available. And I can choose the way in which she speaks, whether she's terrified or excited or cheerful. Most of the English UK accents I've noticed don't have these style drop-down options, or if they do, they're quite limited, so cheerful or sad. But most of the time, I'm not using these generated voices anyway, and I'll explain why as we go through. So you've got the option of typing in your script, as I've done here, or you can click the audio button, and that gives you an opportunity to upload your own MP3 audio file or a WAV file or an MP4, and you can use that instead. And once you've got your avatar and you've got your audio file or script ready, then it's just a case of hitting the generate video and it will create your speaking avatar, and then you can download it as an MP4. So if we head over to the pricing page, you'll notice first of all that they have a free trial, and that gives you 5 minutes worth of avatar creation, which should be enough to give you a sense of whether this platform is something that you're going to make use of. And then for $4.70 a month, you can get the light plan, which gives you 16 minutes of record time, which for me is plenty, and that's the one I've subscribed to. And then it goes upwards from there, and it becomes probably outside of most educators' price points. One little niggle I do have is that even with the light plan, you still get this DID watermark, which I don't particularly want on my resources, but there are some workarounds which I'll share with you as we go along. So let's look at how we can go about creating an avatar. And for that, we need a text to image generator. and the one I recommend is Midjourney. So here we are in Midjourney. It's a text-to-image generator. I get a lot of value from this particular platform. You'll notice the last image I created was of Winston Churchill, and I was hoping to use that as an example for you, but when I tried to upload it as an avatar, DID blocked it because it's a famous personality, so it's an infringement of their guidelines for best practice, which is disappointing given that Churchill's been dead for some time and is an important historical figure. So I'm going to take my prompt. I'm going to say / imagine, which sets up the process. I'm going to paste the prompt previously, and this is the one that I found works quite well. So it's realistic portrait of whoever it is you're writing about, looking directly into the camera, and then I put a double colon 1.5, which means I've placed weight on that particular parameter because it's really important that our character faces towards the camera so that the DID face recognition software can pick up the face and effectively do the lip syncing. I'm going with an aspect ratio of 16:9, but you can choose any size you like. And let's just choose instead here something more generic. So we'll say a realistic portrait of a Shaolin monk. Okay, and let's see what we get from that. And you'll notice now that it's waiting to start. And I always like this part of using the Midjourney process because you can see that as the image slowly emerges, it's a bit like that old darkroom experience of working with 35mm film when you're working with the photographic paper under a red light and slowly the image emerges. So you can see up here the percentage of generation. And I just think the quality of the images that Midjourney are producing these days is just extraordinary. Any one of these would be absolutely fine because they are all front-facing and the lighting's pretty decent on them. I'm going to go with, let's go with number 4 because I particularly like the background for that one. So we'll go upscale 4. And there we go. There's our image. And I'm just going to save that, save as, and we'll call it a monk, to my desktop. So that's been saved. And now if I go back to my create video options, I'm going to add my monk image. There he is. So let's put, hi, my name is Lao Tzu, and I am a Buddhist monk. And at the moment it's set up as an English speaker. So let's have Ethan. And
hi, my name is Lao Tzu and I am a Buddhist monk.
But I could, for example, go with, let's say, a English Philippines accent.
Hi, my name is Lao Tzu and I am a Buddhist monk.
But probably not with Rosa. We'd go with James instead.
Hi, my name is Lao Tzu and I am a Buddhist monk.
Now, I quite like that. So I'm going to go with that one. And let's just add another line. I am delighted to meet you. Just so we've got a little bit more to say. So we have our avatar, we've got our text, we've got our speaker, our voice, and then it's just a case of hitting the generate video here. And it says I've got 11 credits left this month, and I'm going to use one of them now. And I've been surprised at how quickly this tends to work. I know we've only got a few seconds on this recording, but nonetheless, it will just take, there you go, we're good to go already.
Hi, my name is Lao Tzu and I am a Buddhist monk. I am delighted to meet you.
How easy was that? We've gone from a concept to creating an animated avatar with lip sync and head movements in under a couple of minutes. Technology these days is just astonishing. So now we've seen how easy it is to create these avatars, let's look at some use cases that we can practically apply in the classroom. One of the most obvious ways in which we can use this technology, I think, is by taking something that might otherwise be dry and boring text and creating a multimedia resource. So here's an example that I've generated by taking a speech by Henry VIII and getting Henry to speak it himself.
Now, since I find such kindness on your part towards me, I cannot choose but to love and favour you, affirming that no prince in the world more favours his subjects than I do you, and no subjects or commons more love and obey their sovereign lord than I see you do me, for whose defence my treasure shall not be hidden, nor if necessity requires it will my person be not risked.
Next, we can make use of Hotseating. So in this case, I've imagined I'm a history teacher teaching life in the trenches during the First World War, and I've created a character, Captain Cooper, who is on the front line of the Somme in 1917. I'm going to begin by creating a landing page using Zapier interfaces. There's going to be a little bit of text followed by a video where Captain Cooper introduces himself. And then below that, it's going to be a chatbot, which is going to use the power of ChatGPT to be able to have interactive discussions between the learner and Captain Cooper in real time. And if that sounds like a lot of tech gobbledygook and you're not familiar with either interfaces or the ChatGPT platform, then there are other videos on my channel that will help you understand it. But you can basically think about it as creating an imaginary character from the past who can in real time talk through the keyboard to the learners. So here's Captain Cooper to introduce himself.
My name is Captain Cooper. I'm an officer in the Royal Anglian Regiment, and I'll be your guide to what it's like to live and fight in the trenches. I hope you have a strong constitution, because this place is not for the faint-hearted. We can talk to one another through the text time portal you'll find below. Just type any question you have about the life of a frontline soldier in this great war, the war to end all wars, and I'll do my best to answer.
And so here, as I scroll down, you'll see that here's the chatbot where Captain Cooper's asked what we'd like to know. And I've already asked one question, which is, how long have you served in France? And he's given us a response. And now I'm asking if he's married. And you can see that in real time, the chatbot is taking the biographical details I've uploaded into the prompt, and it's giving us relevant responses. So I follow up with, have you been injured? And in the prompt, I'd explained that Cooper had had a narrow miss with the collapse of a trench following a mortar attack. And here we have those details coming up in real time. So I think this is a really exciting and promising resource. Now, you may have noticed that the voice in this case was considerably more convincing. It had human-like qualities which aren't in some of the other avatars we've looked at so far. And that's because I uploaded an MP3 file. Now, you could record the voice of a colleague who you think suits the avatar you've created. You can use your own voice. But in this case, I used 11 Labs, which is, in my opinion, the best text-to-voice synthesizer using AI technology. I simply typed up my script, uploaded it to 11 Labs, chose the voice that I wanted, downloaded the MP3 file, and then used it in DID. And for me, that extra step, it only takes a minute more, and it's worth it for the quality of the voice that we receive. Another way in which we can use these talking avatars is to turn them into storytellers. So in this case, I've used a DID speaking avatar to begin with, and then I've taken a still image from the end of that avatar's speech, taken it into another program called Kyber, which takes an image and turns it into a flickbook video animation, and then blended the two together in a very simple video editor. I added an audio soundtrack to create a bit of drama, and here's the result.
Once upon a time, when birds still nested in old men's beards, there lived a color mage. If you've never heard of a color mage before, that's okay. We're a dying breed. Let me show you what we can do.
Here I might use this video as a creative writing prompt and encourage the students to collaborate to come up with a name and a background to the color mage, and then write the next couple of paragraphs of the story. I also think that the teaching of languages is a natural fit for the use of these kind of avatars. So in this case, I've taken Vincent van Gogh, who, although he was Dutch, spoke fluent French and spent much time in France. I found a quotation attributed to him during his time in France. I uploaded that into ChatGPT. asked for a translation, took the French and put it through 11 labs, downloaded both the English and French versions as MP3 files, uploaded those to DID, and now we have 2 versions of Vincent van Gogh sharing with us his thoughts about the struggles of being an artist.
Je mets mon cœur et mon âme dans mon travail, et j'ai perdu la raison dans le processus. I put my heart and soul into my work, and I have lost my mind in the process.
So those are just some of the use cases that I've come up with in the last week, and I'm sure you can think of many more. I think this is a really exciting addition to the EdTech tools we now have available to us. Now, I just wanted to let you know that I won't be unfortunately releasing a video next week. Part of my teaching responsibilities is outdoor learning activities, and I'll be taking a group up into the mountains of Snowdonia over the weekend when I'd normally be doing my videoing and editing, but I promise to get back to it the week after that. So I hope you found something on here that was useful this week. If you did enjoy it, please think about hitting the like button, consider subscribing, and until next time.